Welcome, everyone, to the Buzzer to Buzzer YouTube channel. This is my first video being put out, so if you could please like, subscribe, and share this out to all your friends and peers, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, let's get to the video.
All right, so the first game we have on the slate is Texans versus the Chiefs. Um, they both played earlier this year. It was a good game. I thought the Chiefs outplayed them still, but I thought Houston had their chances from time to time. I feel like they could definitely stick with them. Um, my main key, I think, is the Texans edge duo, Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson against the Chiefs offensive tackles. I really think they can get after Mahomes and cause pressure all game. I really think the Texans defense can help keep this game close. I don't think this is going to be what everybody's kind of predicting, like the Chiefs just extremely close to a victory. I think the Texans can play with them. I think it's really just going to depend on what C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins and that offense can do against the Texans. But again, before resting their starters, the Chiefs were playing really well. They were clicking on offense. The defense continues to play well. I think another key to the game is going to be the Chiefs' defensive line against the Texans' offensive line. It's been quite noted that C.J. Stroud has not been protected well this year, and I think Chris Jones, George Karlaftis can get after Houston as well. I really think the shaky offensive line for the Texans could be the huge difference in this game. But overall, I can't wait to see Stroud versus Mahomes again. I thought the first matchup was really entertaining. And honestly, I could see an upset potentially, but it's really just going to come down to if the offensive line for Houston can play well, keep Stroud protected, and then Stroud, he needs to play well as well. He can't. He's been a little up and down this year, but if we can get rookie year Stroud, I really think they can give the Chiefs a run for their money. Chiefs are 8.5-point favorites in this game. I do think the Chiefs win, but the Texans, I think, are going to cover. I think Mahomes is just going to be too much. I think they make that extra play. I could see this on like a game-winning field goal or a last-second touchdown from KC. But really, I think this game's going to be really good. The second game on the Saturday slate is the Commanders versus the Lions. Commanders, they just came over a huge win against the Bucs. Jaden Daniels played well. Terry McLaurin, Diami Brown, they all played well in that game. Thought the defense stepped up too with that huge fumble at the end of the game. Overall, I think this is a huge, successful season for the Commanders. They weren't expected to be here. Many thought they would be at the bottom of the NFC East, but here they are. One thing I took away from that game, though, was the Commanders really struggled to run the ball last week. Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler really couldn't get it going. I think if they want to win, Jaden Daniels can't be their only way of effectively running the ball. Ali McNeil, who is out for the season for the Lions, was a huge part in stopping the run for them. I think Brian Robinson needs to get it going this game. You can't have another stinker like the Tampa game, even though Tampa is a good run defense. I think the Lions are a little bit worse right now. So if Brian Robinson can get going, or even Austin Eckler can get going, that would be huge for the Commanders. I definitely think that Jaden Daniels can definitely throw on this Lions defense too. I think they can rack up points if he can get the ball to Terry McLaurin, Diami Brown, or other receivers. I really think that the Commanders can keep this game close. But the key to the game, to me, is that the Commanders need to keep the ball out of the Lions' hands. The Lions' offense isn't as banged up as their defense, and the Lions' offense is, as we know, pretty electric. But again, they need to run the ball effectively to have a chance in this game. I think that's the key to the game. If they can run the ball effectively, I think they can come out with the upset win. But I don't know if I like those chances. Lions are coming in really well rested. And the Commanders' run defense is kind of middle of the pack. It's kind of near the bottom of the league. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a huge day. I'd bet the over on Gibbs rushing yards. The way he's playing right now is probably like a top 5 back in football. I really think that Detroit can put up a lot of points against a kind of sketchy Washington defense. I thought the Bucs had their chances against the Commanders last week. But I think, honestly, this is just a warm-up game for the Lions. I think their season really starts in the NFC Championship game. While they are banged up, I see no reason why they can't absolutely go off on the Commanders' defense. And I also think that the defense can get stops as well. They really played well against Minnesota in Week 18, even though Sam Darnold's coming back down to earth. He's kind of going back to Jets Sam Darnold. I really think they can continue this against the Commanders. The Lions are favored by 9.5. I'm kind of I think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think the Commanders are going to cover, and I think Detroit easily cruises to the NFC Championship game, where they will await either the Rams or the Eagles. All right, so the third game of the divisional round of the playoffs is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Rams are coming off a super impressive win over the Vikings. They crushed Sam Darnold all day. They made Sam Darnold look like he was seeing ghosts again, like he did in New York. It was just utter domination on all sides of the football. Defense, offense, special teams, you name it. Jared Verse played amazing. He's really showing why he's the Defensive Rookie of the Year. But I do think Philly's defense will provide a much tougher challenge for Stafford than Minnesota. Minnesota, known for blitzing a bunch with Brian Flores. Stafford, known for carving up the blitz. The Eagles rank middle in the pack in sending blitzes. And I think McVay and Stafford will see different looks in man and zone. With Fangio being more known for being a zone type of defense, he's really found trust in Quinyon Mitchell and Darius Slay to play a lot more man, which I think will throw off Stafford just a little bit. But I also think McVay will have another great game plan like he did last week, and I think the Rams will be able to find a way to beat this great Philly defense. I can't lie, Philly kind of worries me from last week. It was pretty uninspiring against the Packers. They had their chances to put Green Bay away way earlier than they did, and they didn't. They finally did find out later in the game to put them away, but it really took way longer than it needed to be. Jalen Hurts, he needs to be better. I think this defense can get stops against an explosive Rams offense, but McVay is going to win some drives, and the Eagles need to score points. So that's where Jalen Hurts needs to step up. And this game, in my opinion, is going to come down to if Jalen Hurts can score points against this Ram defense and make explosive plays with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I think Saquon's going to have another good day on the ground, but I think it's really going to be dependent on if Jalen Hurts can get good drives going, because I think they're more talented roster than the Rams, but I really think Saquon's going to run well. But Jalen Hurts, you got to play better than you did last week if you want to have a chance to win this game. Eagles are favored by 6, but I'm going to get a little bold here. I'm going to go with the upset. I think the Rams are going to win, and they're going to play Detroit in the NFC Championship game. McVay, known for saving stuff for the playoffs, I think he's going to have something up his sleeve in this game, and I really, right now, don't trust Jalen Hurts. He's not playing as he should be right now, and it kind of worries me. And I think Stafford and the Rams are playing excellent right now. I think the defense is really growing, and I can't wait to hopefully potentially see a Rams versus Detroit NFC Championship game. It was a wild card game that we got last year, and it was pretty entertaining. So I can't wait to see this rematch. All right, so next we have the game of the week, in my opinion, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. Both teams have MVP candidates in Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. They're both playing at an extremely high level. Let's look back at the last game they played earlier this year. Baltimore, I thought, destroyed Buffalo in all phases of the game. but I do think Buffalo is better from the last time they played, but also so is Baltimore. Baltimore did have a stretch where they looked a little inconsistent, but right now in December they've really turned it on. I thought Buffalo's been pretty consistent all year and been great all year. Uh, One of the main things, or a key to the game for me, is Buffalo's run game looks crazy good right now. James Cook may not be the flashiest player, but he ran super well and really helped them control the game against the Broncos last week. I think he's going to be a huge key to the game. So is that Buffalo offensive line with Spencer Brown and Deion Dawkins. Last week they really controlled the trenches against the Broncos, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did that again against this Baltimore defensive line. Josh Allen is also insane. He's making insane plays constantly. One of the touchdown throws he had in that game against the Broncos was like in the back of the end zone. It was an insane throw right around the safety, PJ Locke. It was pretty crazy. While the Ravens defense has improved, the way Allen is playing, I really don't think it matters that much. I think Bills will have success running the ball, throwing the ball against this Baltimore defense. I think the Bills will definitely put up a bunch of points against Baltimore. The one thing that does worry me about the Bills is their defense. I feel like they had a couple breaks in the Broncos game with some drop passes. I think Bo Nix played really well in that game, but I don't think his receivers were able to capitalize. And that kind of worries me because I know Baltimore, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, even Derrick Henry are going to catch that ball and extend longer drives. I really do think you can run on this defense, and you can also throw on them. Their run defense has been pretty sus all year, but it really hasn't been shown to matter that much the way the offense is playing and controlling the time of possession. But I do think this is a perfect matchup for Derrick Henry and Lamar to run crazy against this Buffalo run defense. But again, on the opposite side, I think the Bills' O-line should dominate in the trenches against the Ravens' defensive line. I feel like it's just going to be a battle between the trenches who can win. I think Allen's going to be protected really well again, like he's been all season. I think Lamar is also going to be protected well all game too. I think I'm kind of predicting a little bit of an offensive shootout here. But I think the big key for me is Derrick Henry. He changes everything for the Ravens and their Super Bowl aspirations. The defense is stepping up after looking a little shaky at the beginning of the year. I think they can get some stops on Josh Allen. I think they're clicking at the right time. And they should also have another key. They should have Zay Flowers back before this game, which will be huge for this offense. Rashad Bateman has emerged as an excellent wide receiver too in this offense. Todd Monken is cooking right now. I think this main story of this game is going to be the offense. I think the offenses are going to be electric in this game. But I think it's going to come down to who can get the most stops. I know it's cliche, but if the Bills defense can get stops, I think they win. If the Ravens defense can get the most stops, I think they win this game. Ravens are favored by 1.5, and I've been debating this the whole time since it's been announced. And at this moment, I think I am leaning Ravens. There is a history of the Ravens being the Bills' kryptonite, and I think it happens again. But like I said, expect a high-scoring electric game. If you're not going to tune into any of the other 3 games this weekend, be sure to tune into this Baltimore versus Buffalo game. I think this might be a game of the year contender.
All right, guys, that is all for the video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this out to your friends. Remember, this is just my first video. There are many more to come. All right, please comment down below other thoughts on the games that are happening this weekend. All right, peace out.